Silence is a source of great strength. That's not just a quote from Lao Tzu. It's a wake-up call. Because in today's world, where leaders are rewarded for speaking louder, reacting faster, and filling every space with opinions, and proving their worth through words, silence has become a lost art. But here's the paradox. The strongest leaders I've ever worked with, the ones who walk in a room and shift the energy without saying a word, they don't dominate through noise. They lead through presence. They influence through listening. And they embody a kind of inner stillness that others instinctively trust. In this episode, we're going to explore what most leadership books completely miss: that silence is not the absence of power, but silence is the source of power. I will walk you through the 3 dimensions of silent power. Dimension number 1, listening as a strategic superpower. Dimension number 2, presence as non-verbal leadership. And dimension number 3, energetic influence. How your state speaks louder than your own voice ever could. We will bring in neuroscience, executive performance research, and some real-world stories that might just change the way you show up forever. So if you've ever felt like you need to say more in order to lead more, then stay with me. Because what you're about to explore might help you unlock the most underestimated leadership skill of them all. Let's start by busting a myth that dominates modern leadership. The idea that to lead, you have to constantly express, direct, to speak and perform. The myth that leadership is loud, that if you're not talking, you're not leading. But here's the truth, and it might sting you a little. A lot of that noise, it is insecurity dressed up as authority. It's the unconscious belief that silence means losing control. That if you're not the one filling the space, someone else will, and you'll lose your edge. But real leadership, it doesn't panic in the silence. In fact, real leadership uses the silence. The average executive is interrupted every 11 minutes, and it takes them on average 25 minutes to return to full focus after each interruption. So we're living in a culture of fragmentation, constant verbal input, a form of reactive leadership. But here's the punchline. A Harvard Business Review study showed that leaders who speak less in meetings are often rated more influential by their peers. Why is that? Because they listen, they observe, and they speak when it actually matters. They use silence as a signal, not of absence, but of depth. Think about the last time someone gave you their full attention. No phone, no multitasking, no quick advice, just presence, just listening. You probably remember that, right? Because in a noisy world, silence is a signal of respect. And in leadership, respect is everything. So let's talk about listening. Not the kind of listening where you nod while waiting for your turn to speak. I mean real listening. The kind that holds space. Listening that reveals truth and changes people. Because when you listen deeply, people will feel seen. And when people feel seen, they will start to trust you. And here's what most leaders get wrong. They think influence is about the message they deliver. But real influence begins the moment the other person starts speaking. And you actually shut up and pay attention. There's neuroscience behind this. When you listen with presence, your brain activates mirror neurons, the same ones that are responsible for empathy and connection. And these neurons don't just respond to words, they respond to tone, to facial expression, to silence. You are psychologically wired to build trust by shutting up and tuning into the person right in front of you. Sacher and Volkmann's leadership research say the best leaders, the ones consistently rated as high performers, are not just listeners. They are active absorbers. Being great listeners made leaders 40% more likely to be rated as inspirational and effective. Why? Because when you listen like that, people feel safe to speak the truth. And the truth is fuel for high performance. Google's project called Aristotle, one of the most thorough studies on high-performing teams. This study found that the number one factor in successful teams is psychological safety. It's not talent, it's not intelligence, it is safety. And deep listening creates exactly that safety. 3 tools to upgrade your leadership listening immediately. I will give it to you. Here they are, 3 tools. First, the 3-second rule. After someone finishes speaking, I want you to count to 3 before you respond. This forces you to absorb what was actually said, not just react. And it trains you to lead with presence, not with performance. So take 3 seconds until you open your mouth and speak. Tool number 2, reflective silence. Instead of answering right away, try asking the following question. Can you tell me more about this? Can you tell me more about this? Or even better, just say nothing. Just nod, hold eye contact, and leave space. Leave a lot of open space. You will be shocked how often the most important things gets said only after the silence. And here is tool number 3, the layer listening technique. Don't just listen to what they say. Listen for what's underneath. Listen to the fear behind the complaint, the tension under the idea, the energy in their voice. That's where leadership lives, not at the surface, but in the emotional undercurrent that most people miss. People rarely remember what you said, but they always remember how they feel when you listened. So listening is not a soft skill. It's a strategic leadership weapon. And it starts with your willingness to stay silent. What is the first thing you notice when a strong leader enters the room? It is not their voice. It is not their title. And it is not even what they say. It's their presence. Presence is that invisible quality you feel before a single word is spoken. Presence is attention plus intention plus stillness. I will say this again. Presence is attention plus intention plus stillness. Attention means I am fully here with you. Intention knows I am here and I know why I'm here. And stillness means I don't need to prove anything. Presence isn't a technique, it's a state. A study from the Stanford Graduate School of Business showed that leaders who display calm, grounded body language, slow gestures, steady posture, conscious pauses, they are rated significantly higher in competence and trustworthiness. So it's not about dominating the room. It's about being energetically aligned. Presence isn't loud, it's clear. It's not tense, it's grounded. Your energy precedes your voice. And here are the tools to cultivate your presence. Number 1, grounding breath work. Before any meeting, before any interaction, or any entry into a room, take 3 deep breaths. Inhale through the nose, hold for a moment, and then exhale slowly through the mouth. Feel your feet, feel your body, and then step into that meeting, that interaction, or the room completely grounded, completely centered. Number 2, before you speak, pause for 10 seconds. Enter the room and pause for 10 seconds. Look around, feel the space, and ask yourself, what does this moment really need? And tool number 3, use fewer words and greater weight. Deliberately slow down your speech. Use fewer words. Let your silence carry meaning. And you'll notice people, they will lean in. They listen more. Your words gain gravity. People don't just follow your voice. They follow your state. And the more present you are, the more trust you build. We're now at the most subtle and the most powerful layer of silent leadership. It is your energy. When you realize it or not, you're always broadcasting something. Before you speak, people can feel your state. That's not spiritual theory, it's biology. The Heart Math Institute has shown that the human heart emits an electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond the body. So when you're calm and coherent, your field becomes more stable and it stabilizes those around you. This is called coherence. And the more coherent your state, the more people feel drawn to your presence. A mistake is many leaders try to influence through words alone, but real authority comes from energy, from the unspoken, from what's in the room, without being said. Think of your energy as your leadership signature. In conflict, the person who remains centered becomes the anchor, not the loudest voice, but the deepest presence. I want to tell you 3 ways to develop such energetic influence. Number 1, the pre-conversation energy check. Before any key interaction, ask yourself, what is my current state? Am I reactive? Am I grounded? Am I defensive? Or am I open? Your awareness is your regulator. Number 2, the power of non-reactivity. When you're triggered, say nothing. Pause, breathe, stay in the space. Your power often lies in what you don't say. And number 3, visualize energetic leadership. In the morning, imagine yourself entering a space with calm, clear energy. Leading through being, not just doing. This builds your nervous system's capacity to hold space with power. Your greatest lever as a leader is invisible. It's the energy you bring into the room. And that energy is shaped not by performance, but by clarity and stillness. So where do leaders go wrong? Mistake number 1. They're talking to fill the void. You don't have to fill every silence. The void is not your enemy. The void is where reflection happens. Mistake number 2. Speed as proof of intelligence. Responding quickly might feel sharp, but it skips nuance. And slow leadership is thoughtful leadership. And mistake number 3. Emotional reaction instead of presence. In a conflict, leaders often mirror chaos, but the real power is staying in your center while others lose theirs. Here's a real-world story. A CEO started using the 3-second pause in meetings. In 2 weeks, the team engagement skyrocketed. People filled the space because he gave it to them. Another story. A founder who stopped dominating conversations and started listening with presence. His team opened up, trusted deeper, and performance improved. People don't trust noise, they trust depth, and silence creates the condition for depth to emerge. So I want to close this episode by recapping what we've explored. We've explored listening as power. We've explored presence as influence. We've explored energy as leadership. Silence isn't the absence of leadership. It's the depth of it. And I want to leave you with a challenge. For 7 days, pause before you speak. 1 full breath in, 1 full breath out. And then, only then, you can speak. And notice the impact. Notice how the people react to that pause before you speak. Just a breath. And then open your mouth. And if you want to have a bonus exercise, then try a silent leadership day, which means speak only when absolutely necessary. Let your presence lead and journal the shifts. What happened? What shifted within you and what shifted with others? So the world doesn't need louder leaders. The world needs deeper ones. Thank you for listening to this episode. Silence is a leadership skill. I'm the CEO coach. Be the calm, be the presence, and I'll see you in the next episode.